Alright, so up there at the top, guys, okay, to find the reference angle of radians is easy. Radians is easy. It's pi over whatever that's in the denominator. So if you had like 11 pi over 6, your reference angle is pi over 6. If you had 3 pi over 4, it's pi over 4. Whatever's in the denominator. Degrees, you got to know something, okay? Okay, and this is how you do it. In quad 1, if it's in quad 1, it is the reference angle. But if it's in quad 2, you take your angle and subtract it from 180. Quad 3 is your angle minus 180. And quad 4 is 360 minus the angle. That's your rules, okay? So quad 2 and quad 3 both deal 180. Quad 4 is 360. Now you said, Mr. Chester, how do you remember which one goes first? You always put the bigger number first when you're subtracting. So quad 2, your angles are smaller than 180, so 180 is going to come first. In quad 3, your angle is going to be bigger than 180. It comes first. Does everybody see that? All right, so on number 1, we want to find the reference angle to 300. First of all, tell me what quadrant is that in? 4. 4, that's quadrant 4. Okay, how would I find my reference angle? 360 minus 300, which is what? 60 degrees. Very good. Number 2. All right. Let's talk about where negative 2 pi over 3 is. Okay. First of all, let's talk about where regular 2 pi over 3 would be. And I teach my students this. Can I divide 3 into 2? I always try to change it to a mixed number. That's the only way I can learn it in college. So I think, okay, if I'm looking at the unit circle and 3 doesn't go in 2, it won't go past one hole, will it? So it's either in quad 1 or quad 2 here. But it's almost a one hole, isn't it? So would it be in quad 1 or quad 2? Quad 2. Okay, so traditionally it would be quad 2, but since it's negative, I'm going in opposite direction on them. So what quad would be? 4 or 3? 3. Do you see that? Well, you don't have to think. Don't think of it like that because that's not all it's does. But just think they're going in reverse order. All right, reverse direction. All right, so that's quad 3, and what's my reference angle? Pi over what? 3. Okay, I know on number 3 my reference angle is what? Pi over 4. But let's talk about where pi over 4 is. Can 4 go into 5? 1. I'm going to change it to a mixed number. 1 and 1 4. Do you see that? Let's think of this. 1 and 1 4. Well, if it's 1, I know I'm already here, don't I? I need 1/4 more. Would it be in quadrant 3 or quadrant 4? Quadrant 3. Do you see how to do that? So that's quad 3. Did y'all do it like that last year? Okay.
I just learned to flip it over the x-axis.
Well, we don't do that because that's not always going to give you the same thing. Negative 240. Okay. When you have a negative degree, guys, the best thing to do, you only do this when you have negative degrees, is just add 360 to it to get a positive. So do that right now. What's negative 240 plus 360? One what? I didn't hear y'all. What is it? 120? Okay, so you're really dealing with 120 degrees. All right, what quadrant is 120 in? Second. Okay, so am I going to say 120 minus 180 or 180 minus 120? Which is 60. That would be my reference angle. I don't know what number 5 was, so let's go to number 6. What's your reference angle on number 6? Pi over 6. Now, let's try to change it to mixed number. Can 6 go into 5? So will I go past the one whole part here? So it's in quad 1 or quad 2? Quad what? 2. Very good. That's what it's in. Number 7, negative 150. I got negative degrees. What am I going to add to it? 360. What do I get? 2 tens. I'm really dealing with 210. All right, 210 is in quad what? 3. It's past 90. It's past 180, but less than 270. Okay, 210 is in quad 3. Am I going to say 180 minus 210 or 210 minus 180? Which gives you 30. Are y'all getting the hang of that now? Okay, let's turn it over. Which one, buddy? Okay, we're not doing all these, but we're going to do a lot of them, okay? We're just going to practice this, because this is what we're doing. Oh, it's a good one, isn't it? You did this one out too with Trig. All right. Number 1, sine of 135. Now, you might have been taught a hand symbol. I don't do the hand trick because I can never remember that. So I just teach you. I call it reference notes, okay? All right. And you're going to do this till you get so good you don't have to do it anymore. Okay, so first thing what I do is 135. I'll put down it's in quad 2. Quad 2. Then I find my reference angle. 180 minus 135 is 45. Now I'm going to write down the ordered pair associated with 45. That is square root of 2 over 2, square root of 2 over 2. Now, I'm not done. The reason I put my quad down, won't that help me with my signs down here? In quad 2, your x is what? Your y is? Now, you have enough information to figure that out. I call that the reference notes, okay? So, sine of 135 would be what? The x or the y? That's your answer. When we do Trig Tuesday, if you have to write all that, do that. Till you get so good, you don't do that anymore. I still have to write all that down. I've been doing this for years. Those are your reference notes. Reference notes. Alright. Number 2. Cosine of 300. What quadrant is 300 in, Alan? Very good. How would I find my reference angle there, Miss Huner? Very good. That is 60 degrees. All right. What is my ordered pair for 60 degrees, Tyler?
It's going to be 1/2.
Very good. 3 over 2. Now, this is where students mess up and do not do this. Once they write that, they forget to go back and look at the quadrant. In quad 4, your x is what? Positive. Y is? Negative. Okay, now, cosine, I want the x value, the y value. So your answer is 1/2. Alright, now, if it's one of the major points, guys, you don't do all the reference notes. Okay, because you don't need all that. When you see 90, yes, I know it's negative 90, but is 90 a major point? So you don't need to write all that, okay? We just need to figure out what negative 90 is at. Normal 90 is here, isn't it? Where's negative 90 going to be? South. So what's my ordered pair for that straight south? 0 what? Very good. 0, negative 1. Now, the definition of tangent is what, guys? Y over x. Somebody says sine over cosine. That's correct, too. But y over x. But we want cotangent, so it's going to be x divided by, which is 0 is my answer. We're going to skip down. We're not doing all these. Let's go tangent 11 pi over 6. I'm going to try to change it to a mixed number. How many times does 6 go in 11? One time. 1 and how many's left over? So I got 1 and 5, 6. So here's my 1 whole. I need 5, 6 more. Quad 3 or quad 4? 4 because it's almost another whole. Do you see that? So I'm going to put quad 4.
Oh, I know what I'm going to do. I do the exact same thing, except I kind of divide 6 by 3 if there's nothing left, so I know exactly it's in quad 3 or 4.
You can do that. Alright. Now, Mason, what's my reference angle here?
5 or 6.
Very good. What is my ordered pair there, Colby? What would be my ordered pair, hon? For pi over 6. We're learning, so if you get it wrong, it's okay. We're trying. Very good. Square root of 3 over 2 and 1/2. Alright, so if it's in quad 4, which one's negative, x or y? In quad 4? The y is. Okay? Now, you want tangent. That is y divided by x. So I'll come over here and I'll work that out. negative 1/2 divided by square root of 3 over 2. So, Mr. Fish, I just had it memorized. If you have your tangents memorized, I'll give you a pat on the back. Now, I'll just come over here and work it quickly. So, it's y divided by this. When you're dividing something, you multiply by the what? Reciprocal. Those 2's cancel out. I'm left with negative 1 over square root of 3. Can you ever submit me something with the radical in the denominator? No, so I'm going to rationalize it. So it's negative square root of 3 over 3. So that would be my answer. I'm going to stop there for a minute. Are there any questions?
What were the three values in tangent limit?
It was root 3, square root of 3 over 3, 1, and then square root of 3. And by after Christmas, you get so good you can look at it and tell what's something. But for right now, we need to work it out so we get remember it again. 180, was that a major point? Yeah, so do you need to do all those reference notes? No. Okay, normally, positive 180 is right here. But we're going negative.
It's
Still there, isn't it? So what's my ordered pair?
negative.
Negative 1, 0. You want the sign, so what would that be? 0. Very good. Number 7, cosine of 4 pi over 3. How many times does 3 go into 4? 1. I got 1 and 1/3, don't I? 1 and 1/3. So here's 1. I just need a third more. Quad 3 or quad 4? Quad 3. Do y'all see that? Quad 3. What's my reference angle on Madison? Very good. Luke Lamar, what's my ordered pair? We're learning. I'm not going to get mad if you mess up. Just try. Okay, that's pi. That's oh, you're right. I was about to mess up. That's right. 1 over 2. See, you about to beat me because I was about to say the wrong thing. Good job. 1/2 and square root of 3 over 2. In quad 3, they're both what, guys? Negative. You want the cosine, so your answer is what? Negative 1/2. All right. What quadrant is pi over 6 in? First, it is the reference angle, isn't it? Okay, that's square root of 3 over 2 and 1/2. They're both positive because in quad 1, you want the x value. That's your answer. All right. Number 10, 315. Very good. That's the reference. What quadrant is it in, Derek? 4. And he said the reference angle is 45. Very good. He got that from saying 360 minus 315. Okay. What's my ordered pair there, Parker, for 45? Very good. It is in quad 4, so Harley, which one will be negative? Very good. We want the sign, so what value we want, Nick? The x or the y? Very good. So your answer is negative square root of 2 over 2. Okay, and then I'm just do this straight column down third, and we're going to call it a day. Is that enough practice right now? Okay. So I'm going to do I'm going to do this one, and this one. Oh, I might do 20. Okay. All right. 240. Tangent 240. 240 is in what quadrant, Miss Wilson? 3. Very good. I'm going to say 240 minus 180, which is 60. Braylee, what's my ordered pair for that, for a 60 degree? Brindley? Turn it around. It's what? Which one? 1/2. Very good. 1/2 square root of 3 over 2. It's quad 3. They're both negative. Tangent is y divided by x. So I'm going to say negative square root of 3 over 2 divided by negative 1/2. Flip that other one. And since it's a negative times a negative, your answer is just square root of 3. Because those 2's cancel out right there. Alright, number 15. 3 goes into 4 how many times? 1. 1 and 3/4. So here's 1. 1 and 1/3. I have 1. I need a third more, so it's in quad 3. Alright, my reference angle is pi over 3. My order pair is 1/2. Square root of 3 over 2. It's in quad 3. They're both negative. You want the cosecant. Is that the inverse of cosine or sine? Sine. Don't put the two c's together. It's the inverse of sine. When I say inverse of sine, that means you just do what with the sine? Flip it. So it's normally this right here. I'm going to put negative 2 over square root of 3. But can you leave that square root of 3 in the denominator? No. So I'm going to rationalize. Now, if I give you something larger than 360, what do you need to do to start subtracting what off of it? 360. So somebody say 495 minus 360 for me. 135. So I'm really working with 135. 135 is in quad 2. Reference angle is 45. Square root of 2 over 2. Square root of 2 over 2. In quad 2, your x is negative. Now, cotangent is x divided by y. You don't have to show me the work on this one because anything divided by itself is what? 1. So you don't have to show me that. But a negative divided by a positive is a what? Negative 1. Last one I'm going to do is 20. How many times does 3 go in 11? 3 and how many's left over? 3 and 2/3. Okay, watch this. If I go around the unit circle, one time that's how much? 2. But I need 3 holes on it. So I'm back here. 2 plus 1 is what? 3. So have I taken care of that big number 3 right there?
Yes.
So I'm right here. Does everybody understand that? I need 2/3 more. Quad 3 or quad 4? 4. Do you see that? So that would be in quad 4. Reference angle, pi over 3. Order pair 1/2 square root of 3 over 2. In quad 4, your y is negative. So you want your cosine, that's your x value. You will have a test on this as a major test rate, like looks just like this page, 30 of these one day. So that's what we're working on. So is that coming back to you? Okay, that's what we're going to be working on, okay? Are there any questions on that? Okay, if you need help with that, come see me in 0 period. I'll be more than happy to help you. But the unit circle will not be out. All right, let's look at our ACT class goal that's on here.
Where did you say the circle, circle goes?
What? Put that in front of Math Workshop Week 3, okay? All right. So our class goal this year is to increase our individual ACT math score by at least 2 points before second semester. If you increase that by 2, that's to help your overall. How can we do this? Remember, you do one of these a week, you get a gold star. I'm going to put your names on your chart this week. That's not mandatory, but whichever class is percentage of students do this, you get your Hardee's breakfast at Christmas. And then we'll do it for second semester as well. All right. So first thing, ACT practice during 0 period. How do you get your gold star? Mr. Hester witnessed you working on a practice test during 0 period. I have some already copied. Or Mr. Hester witnesses you checking your answers. I'm going to give the practice test to you ahead of time. If you want to do it at home, you can. Just come in and check your answers. And let me help you, okay? You get a gold star by that. Or you can you receive assistance from Mr. Hester on the test here. Any of those can qualify for your gold star. Okay? Well, you might do private ACT tutor. Your mom or dad, grandpa or grandma has paid for you to do all pencils down. If you do some kind of private ACT tutor, just come show me what you did in that class, outside of class, and I'll give you a gold star for the week. Okay, you know we did our ACT Saturday sessions last year. Okay, if you go to one of those, that gets you gold star for the week. Just sign in. I know that they do the Zaps program. Miss Vickers I would see Miss Vickers for who registered for the Zaps and actually attended it, just not registered. Dr. Hester's about to roll out a program in zero period on Tuesday and Thursdays. You go through a free ACT tutoring on Tuesday and Thursdays at a 3-week block of time. You're going to have a math, English, and a science teacher. So 2 days will be an English teacher. One day it will be just a general overview. An English teacher will come in on 2 days to do English and reading with you, math 2 days, and then science 1 day. Okay, and this will be free. I think it's going to start, one might start next week. And details about that will be coming. So if you attend that, 3 weeks, there's your 3 gold stars. I'm about to show you this ACT Academy website. It's free, and they have 43 practice quizzes in math alone in each domain. So you do that, you screenshot the screen that shows you your score. That lets me know you practice, and just send it to me in my email. Say you don't have to put much. There's your screenshot of your score, and it lets me know you practice. Does that make sense? Or you can take a picture on your phone, send it to me and remind Miss Fish, and I'm going to put a check by your name that you get a gold star that week. Does that make sense? Okay. In the months of December, April, and June, I don't realize that, you can pay $20 to get your test back. If you do that and come in zero period, I had a lot of students do that last year. I reviewed their test with them. We went through each problem they missed and we talked about what they did. You do that, you get a gold star. So do you see your options there? Alright, let's talk about ACT Academy. Let's see where we can find this website. Go to Google. I'm going to Google ACT Academy. Oops, that's misspelled. Okay, right there. Sign in. You can sign up, sign in. Let me see if I remember my email. Oh. Okay, so when you do this now, Miss Fisher just went through a math quiz, quickly guessed and answered. I made a 67 just guessing because I want to see what it looks like. See, right here you can go into any of these and they have practice. Let's click on math, explore math. It's broken down by the domains that we're going to talk about in just a minute. So let's look here. All the different. Let's just. I don't want to actually take one. Okay. So, like, here's a quiz. You take it. If you miss it, they have a video that you can watch, seeing a teacher show you how to do that problem. Okay. But there was something else. Oh, 1 of 43. This is what I want to talk about. Look at all these quizzes. Like, you click on. Oh, that's just for number and quantity. You see that? You have 8 quizzes there. If you want to work on some algebra, there's 10 quizzes on that domain. Functions, which is the hardest, there's 5. This integrating essential skills is middle school content, but it's asked at a deep level. If you want to work on some of that, there's 5. Do you see how you just go in there and you start quiz? You see how that works? This is a very valuable resource right here. And you know what? It doesn't just have to be math. If you want to do science and English reading, it's also there as well. Yes, son?
Is it timed?
No. It's just like 7 questions. Yeah. But see, you have it for... And then there's a complete practice test over here. Seniors, I know it's coming up your last couple, October, December. Juniors, you got a little time. But see, I took one, missed 1 or so. But there's your score. But do you see how to use that website? Okay. Just take a picture of your your screen of when you get your score. All right. Next thing, we're going to talk about the ACT strategies for just a second. Okay, I get about 60 emails a day, so I'm about to log in my email. I don't even know what's came in my email, so you're going to overlook when my email pops up. I'm going to my Google Slides. Okay. That's nothing like it's normally already. Alright, so we're going to talk about just some general information about ACT to make sure you understand. Okay, what score is possible? We have 36. I had my first student ever last year score a perfect 36 on the ACT math. Probably my only one. I wish I had some more, but that rarely occurs. He graduated last year. Yeah, I'm one of the valedictorians. Alright, only 5% of the population normally scores over a 36 on the ACT. Well, no, 5% score in the range of 30 to 36. If you already scored that, you're in the upper 5% of the high school students. 21 is the national average. If you went down there just guessing and not reading anything, blind guessing gets you a 10. Gets you a 10. Top 4 factors that increase your chances on influence your score is your academics that you do in school, how well you study, being familiar with the test, knowing the setup, knowing what's on the test, what's the domains, test taking skills, and anxiety level. If you keep practicing, your anxiety will go down because you're more familiar with the test. Here's the test dates coming up for this year. Remember, in December you can get a copy of your test. April, June. Best months to take the math. December, April, June. Now, one of these months is okay, but we never know because one of those months they put experimental math questions and it flip-flops between September and October. So it's just like 1 month's going to be good and 1 month you're going to see some experimental questions. Well, one would seem harder because it has experimental questions on it. Alright, some general tips. There's no intentional trick questions. Directions are the same on every test. So before you go into the ACT, the night before, why don't you read all your directions to your test so you don't waste time reading directions. The math always the same. You can Google ACT math test directions. Read that so when you go in there you don't have to spend time reading that block of directions. No special pattern answers. Choice are equally likely. There's only one correct answer. Used to in the math, and it's questions of random difficulty. Used to in the math, they redid the math 2 years ago. Used to, the first 30 questions on the math was the easiest. Then 31 to 49 was medium difficulty, and the last 10 were the hardest. Well, now, number 2 can be the hardest question. So you cannot think, okay, I need to get through the first 30 in like 20 minutes. No, but some of those might be your hardest questions, okay? Okay. Never leave anything blank. The only time you pick the letter of the day, well, when you're driving to ACT that morning, you need to make a decision in your mind. Okay, if I do not even know or can't do any elimination, I'm going to put this letter every time. Because if you don't know how to do 5 questions and you pick B every time, won't one of them bound to be B? So you just need to get that in your mind. You can pick A, B, C, D, or first, second, third, fourth choice, because you know you have F, G, and all that. So just stay with that letter. Benchmark scores. Benchmark said these are scores that consider you college and career ready, that you can go to college and you will not be in remedial classes. I do not know why English is so much lower than everybody else, but English 18. You know that you are put in classes in college based on what you score in this area. English 101 and 102, if you have an 18 or higher, you go into English 101. If you score below an 18 in English, which none of y'all will, you go into remedial English. So that's the target there. Math's a 22. You want y'all. Math is a 22. If you go into 22, well, you don't have to worry about it because y'all in dual enrollment. If you're not in dual enrollment, if you had below a 22, then you would have to go into remedial math. Reading is a 22. I think your history, class depends there. Science, general biology everybody takes. There's not a remedial science. Really, this English and math is this first two. Okay, talk about what's on the ACT math test. 60% of the test comes from what you learned in high school. 40 to 43% comes from what you learned in middle school. You say, well, that's great. These are some of your hardest questions in middle school. They make those hard because they said they learned it in middle school and you should be able to do it. So those are some of your hardest questions. Okay. Have you ever heard of DOK, Webb's Depth of Knowledge? That's how questions are classified, test questions. A DOK level 1 is your easiest question. It's just straightforward knowledge. Like, when was the Mayflower Compact signed? That's like a general question. DOK 2 is when you move up to more of why. DOK 3 is your analyzing. So DOK 1 is your easiest. DOK 3 is your hardest questions. So these questions, there's no DOK 1 in middle school. They're DOK 2 or 3. So there's no easy questions in this category. That's your middle school. Integrate essential skills. Now this is what you learn in high school. In high school, it's divided into 5 categories. Number and quantity is about 10% of your test. Those are some is not as many, but those are like operations, like simplifying radicals, complex numbers, stuff like that, matrices. Algebra is what you learned in algebra 2. 12 to 15%. Algebra 1 and algebra 2. Functions deals with algebra 2 and pre-cal. 12 to 15%. Geometry is 12 to 15%. Stats and probability, this is 8 to 12. That gives students trouble because you don't have much stats and probability in high school. So we're going to review that this year. But that's the makeup of the test right there. You wait. I'm not boring you, Emma. Okay. This is what I need you to know. This is how we will attack every ACT math problem we do together this year. Okay? It's the Kaplan 3-step method for ACT math. So let's look at this. When you take the ACT, you need to incorporate this. Step 1, understand. That means you're going to read the question stem first and make sure you understand what the problem is asking. So you read the question stem first, glance at your answer choices, and then go back and read the problem. Why do you think it might be important to glance at your answer choices before you read the problem? Straight up, tell me what you think. Yeah, so she said you can eliminate any outliers if you know the basic format. So don't you need to know what kind of format answer you're looking for? So before you read the problem, you saw all fractions. Okay, I got to come up with a fraction somehow. Or, hey, I see 9 pi, 7 pi, 3 pi. If you see that they left in pi, you don't need to worry about multiplying by 3.14, do you? So you're saving your time on that. So look at the answer choices, then go back and read the problem. While you're reading the problem, you're jotting down math out of the problem that you think is important for that question stem. So always read the question stem first, glance at your answer choices, and then go back and read from beginning to end. Okay? Step 2, you're going to analyze. You're going to think, okay, how can I solve this problem? Every ACT math problem can be solved using one of these 3 ways. Okay? First way is use math skills. And when I say use math skills, it's something you learned in high school. Second, plug in numbers. So what do you mean by plug in numbers? You remember those problems, let x be a positive integer, let y be an odd integer? Then you just pick an even and odd number and plug it into whatever it makes it work. That's what I mean by plugging in numbers. Step 3, back solving. Take your answer choices and work backwards. So any of those 3 can solve any problem on ACT using math skills, plug in numbers, and back solve. So once you do that, then you just select your answer. That's the 3-step plan. Step 1, read question stem. Read question stem. Glance at answer choices. Read the entire problem. Pull in the math out as you go. Then decide a plan of attack using plug in numbers, math skills, back solve, and then select your answer. Is everybody good? Okay. Remember my phone policy. I'm gonna throw that out right there. I don't do good with Snapchatting, I'm just saying. Okay. And I'm not going to bring that comment up again. Alright. We have 3 minutes, 3 to 4 minutes, and what I want you to do is help me get ready for the next class. So I want you to help me put all this stuff on the desk. Put all your stuff up. Your homework's math workshop. Are we good? Okay. I need Dylan, you can help me. Parker can help me. Emma can help me. Keener. Colby, can you help me? Okay. Just so on the side with start with him, put one right here, those. And then show on the side, put this these things set it back. How many of y'all feel better with your unit circle trig? I need a hand signal. Unit circle trig. Okay, remember, if you don't, you gotta tuck it in. You gotta give me feedback. Okay, I'm gonna repeat myself one time. 5. You better have some type of hand signal. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you. That with yes, sir. Oh my God, did we run it out?
Yeah, I need to.
How many we run out? Okay, that one sits here next period. Okay, Dylan, by Juliet right there. Get that one right there. No one sits there. Okay, no one sits in Jackson's desk. Get his packet.
You're supposed to rewrite. It's coming from a different character. It's going.
We have everybody covered now.
Person, and then you send the person.
We need 2 more. How did I run out? Oh, and we didn't put any here either?
I'm going to go after. I'm going to write it in the library here and take a period. But
Yeah, agree. Those for me, please. Okay, I'm going to make that product. All right. How many more copies do I need in total of these? I'll go make copies right now. Yeah, if you don't have one of these on your upcoming desk, raise your hand. I'm going to ask one more time to respond to me. If you don't have one on your desk, so please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5. Okay, when the bell rings, you may leave. Have a great day.
there's a 70% chance of rain.
People who are standing around waiting for people. Oh my God.
Who else made really bad on that test?
You got it?
Good morning. How you doing?
Terrible.
Why?
After seeing my grade.
I know, so it lets you know you about to buckle down, don't you?
I did. I studied every night.
Okay.
And still got that.
Did that voice just... Oh, hold. Don't give me that look. Did that voice just get raised to Mr. Hester?
I think it did.
You're not a grown man. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
I think it did.
I think it's you too. I'll bring you back down to earth quickly.
Yes, sir.
Now that means that we got the plan. It's your first test. You got 5 more. Okay?
Mr. Hester?
Yes,
I got my keys in my closet.
Oh, you need my keys.
Hey, and tell her to come to me because she wasn't in there when I tried to deliver the spirit pack to her. Yeah.
Oh, in your closet? Only Mr. Nichols has a key.
Oh my God.
Okay, thank you, Junior. Sarah, what's Sarah at? Happy birthday! I got your sour candy up here for your birthday. Connor, how's it going, Connor?
You put a warning in the grade book
Because you didn't come for 0 period and you didn't come again to 0 period today.
Oh, I finished it Friday after my test.
Did you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll look at it. I'll look for it. Okay. Yes.
Mr. Hester.
Like, all the notes, I was like, okay, it's going to be easy.
Yes. They're a little slow, I tell you.
I just thought, thanks.
I remember getting my
All righty. Good morning. How's everybody doing? Okay, so this week it slows down. Okay, let's talk about a few things. Your tests are in now. We're not getting them back today, but I will show them this week. Your grades are updated. Today we're going to spend time on ACT information and reviewing unit circle. I'm going to start a new unit tomorrow, okay? Okay, so on your desk, yeah, I'm about to go through that. Alright, on your desk, okay, some of y'all don't have this pack because I ran out of copies. I'm about to go get them off the copier in just a second, but if you don't have this on your desk, it's coming. Put this behind the next divider. It says Unit 2 functions. This is your notes for next unit. We'll be on this for about 6 weeks, okay? You're going to have 2 tests in this unit. Alright. Huh? About 6 weeks. Alright. What'd you say, Connor? Not long. That's a lot of notes for 6 weeks, isn't it?
That's a long time.
Oh, it is. You cover that unit, and then you cover, not 6 weeks, sorry, take that back, because we'll be done with 9 weeks. We're in this unit for 4 weeks. 4 weeks. 4 weeks, 4.5. Alright. Now, put this in front of week 3 math workshop. This is our notes to review unit circle today. How you doing this morning? What you eating? I thought you were eating cereal. Alright. This goes in front of week 3. Now, it's going to be busy in a little bit. I forgot to tell you. Let's look at our homework tonight. Week 3 math workshop numbers 4 through 21. Okay. That deals with trig that we're going to learn today. And if you look at the bottom of your week 3, aren't those the equations we've been doing? it keeps reviewing equations. I'm going to make sure that some of y'all know how to factor before you leave me. So we're going to have another equation test about 8 weeks or 9 weeks. So you're going to have 2 math workshops, one on the trig and one on the equations, okay? And the reason we're going to just go ahead and do these tonight, so when we come in here, you don't have to work anything, we're going to go over the answers, and we're good with that. That's your homework. Holly, good job, 102 on the test. You're my highest grade out of 2 classes. Congratulations. All right. Now,
Wait, where does this go?
this goes in front of week 3. Okay, class average on the test. My first period was a 89 class average. Second period was an 87. So y'all right there close. We learn now that Okay. Anyway, moving on. All right. So this goes in front. So everybody knows what their homework is for this tonight. Okay. All right. So first thing, I'm gonna go out of order on this. I'm gonna start with ACT stuff and then go back to the unit circle. All right. So let's look at our ACT. And like if you don't have your notes, I'm gonna go get them in just a second. Okay. Let's look at our class goals. If we increase our math score, then our overall will go up on it. So that's what we're looking at. That thing is still going. Oh my Lord.